The phone rang at 11:47 p.m. We were in bed. I was half asleep. My wife, Lauren, grabbed her phone off the nightstand so fast it was like she'd been waiting for it. "Hello?" she whispered. I heard a man's voice, muffled, but definitely male. She sat up. "Wrong number," she said quickly, and hung up. Then she turned the phone face down and slid back under the covers like nothing happened. I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, listening to her breathing slow down as she pretended to fall back asleep. Something felt off. The next morning, while she was in the shower, I did something I'd never done before. I picked up her phone. The call log showed the number. No name, just digits. I grabbed my phone, walked into the garage, and dialed it. 1 ring, 2 rings, then a man's voice, smooth and familiar. "Hey baby, you forget something?" My stomach dropped. I hung up, stood there in my own garage, surrounded by tools I'd used to build our deck, fix our fence, make our home a home, and realized the woman I'd been building it for had been calling someone else baby for God knows how long. If you want to know what I did next and why that phone call led to me standing in a courtroom with a recording that made her lawyer go pale, hit subscribe, because what I found wasn't just a number, it was a pattern, and patterns don't lie. My name is Ryan Mitchell. I'm 38 years old and I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a project manager for a commercial construction company. I wear steel-toed boots to work, carry a hard hat in my truck, and spend my days making sure buildings go up on time and under budget. I'm good at my job. I'm good at solving problems. But I never thought I'd have to use those skills to investigate my own marriage. Lauren and I met 9 years ago at a friend's barbecue. She was a dental hygienist, funny, warm, the kind of woman who remembered everyone's birthday and always brought extra food to potlucks. We got married after 2 years, bought a house in a quiet neighborhood with good schools, even though we didn't have kids yet. "Someday," she'd say, smiling. I believed her. I believed a lot of things. For the first 6 years, everything was good, normal. We had our routines. I'd leave for work at 6:30 a.m. She'd leave for 8 for the dental office. We'd text during the day, nothing deep, just "How's your day?" and "What do you want for dinner?" Evenings, we'd cup together, watch TV, talk about our weeks. Weekends, we'd work on the house. I built a deck. She planted a garden. We painted the guest room together, laughing when I got more paint on myself than the walls. It felt solid, like we were building something that would last. But somewhere around year 7, things started shifting. Small things at first. She stopped asking about my day. She started staying late at work more often. She got a second phone, for work, she said. The office wanted hygienists to have a separate line for patient callbacks. Made sense, except she guarded that phone like it was classified intel. The late nights started about 8 months ago. "Dr. Morrison wants me to help with the new patient onboarding system," she'd say. "I'll be home by 9. 9 became 10, 10 became 11. I'd text, "You okay?" She'd reply, "Yeah, just busy. Don't wait up." I didn't think much of it. She was dedicated. That's one of the things I loved about her. But then the phone habits changed. She used to leave her phone on the kitchen counter, on the coffee table, wherever. Now it was always in her pocket, always face down, always on silent. If I walked into a room while she was texting, she'd close the app. "Work stuff," she'd say. "HIPAA, can't leave patient info open." Again, made sense, but my gut started whispering. Then came the night that changed everything. It was a Tuesday. We'd just finished watching a show. I was drifting off when her phone lit up on the nightstand. 11:47 p.m. She grabbed it before the second ring. "Hello?" she whispered, voice soft, almost tender. I opened my eyes, watched her in the dim light from the hallway. A man's voice. I couldn't make out words, but the tone was familiar, comfortable. "Wrong number," she said quickly.
She hung up, put the phone face down, slid back under the covers. "Who was that?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "I don't know. Wrong number." "At midnight?" "Yeah, weird, right?" She yawned. "Go back to sleep, babe." But I couldn't. I lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to her breathing even out, and I knew. I didn't know what I knew, but I knew something was wrong. The next morning, I waited until she got in the shower. Then I did something I'd never done in 9 years of marriage. I picked up her phone. No passcode. She'd always said she had nothing to hide. I opened the call log. There it was, 11:47 p.m., a number I didn't recognize. I grabbed my phone, walked out to the garage, and closed the door. My hands were shaking as I dialed. 1 ring, 2 rings, then, "Hey, baby, you forget something?" The voice was warm, familiar, like he'd said those words 1,000 times. I couldn't breathe. I hung up, stood there in the garage, surrounded by tools and half-finished projects, and felt my entire world tilt. I didn't confront her, not yet. I went to work, sat through meetings, reviewed blueprints, approved change orders, all on autopilot. My mind was stuck on that voice. "Hey, baby." Not "hello," not "who's this?" "Hey, baby," like he knew exactly who was calling.
At lunch, I sat in my truck and stared at my phone. I could call the number again, demand answers, but something stopped me. If I confronted her now, she'd have time to cover her tracks, delete messages, get her story straight. No, if I was going to do this, I needed to do it right. I needed proof. That night, I watched her. Not obviously, just paid attention. She was on her phone more than usual, smiling at the screen, typing fast, then deleting, then retyping. "Work?" I asked. "Yeah," she said, not looking up. "Dr. Morrison is so disorganized. I'm trying to help him set up the new scheduling system." Dr. Morrison, her boss, mid-50s, married, 3 kids. I'd met him once at an office holiday party. Nice guy, talked about his grandkids. Not the kind of guy who'd call my wife baby at midnight. So who was? The next day, I called in a favor. My buddy Jake works in IT. We went to college together. He's the guy you call when you need to recover a deleted hard drive or trace an IP address. "I need help," I told him over beers after work. "What's going on?" I told him. The late nights, the phone call, the "hey baby." Jake's face went serious. "Man, I'm sorry. I need to know who he is. You try reverse lookup?" "Yeah, nothing. Number's not linked to any public records." Jake thought for a moment. "Give me the number. I'll see what I can find." I texted it to him. 2 days later, he called me. Got a name. My heart stopped. "Who?" "Trevor Hastings, 34, works at a marketing firm downtown, single, lives in South End." I wrote it down. "How'd you find him?" "Number's registered to a business account. Took some digging, but it's him." Trevor Hastings. I'd never heard that name in my life. I did what any man would do in 2024. I looked him up online. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Trevor Hastings, marketing director, CrossFit enthusiast, dog owner. In his profile picture, he was tan, fit, wearing a suit that probably cost more than my truck payment. The kind of guy who uses words like synergy and leverage unironically. I scrolled through his Instagram. Gym selfies, brunch photos, pictures of his dog, a golden retriever named Maverick. And then I saw it. A photo from 3 months ago. A restaurant I recognized, Fahrenheit, the rooftop place in uptown Charlotte. In the background, barely visible, a woman with dark hair. I zoomed in. It was Lauren. I sat there staring at my phone, feeling like I'd been punched in the chest. 3 months ago, Lauren told me she was going to a team dinner for work. She came home at 11 p.m., smelling of wine and expensive perfume.
I'd kissed her goodnight and told her I was glad she had fun. Now I was looking at proof she'd been with another man. I took a screenshot, saved it to a hidden folder. Then I kept digging.
Over the next week, I became someone I didn't recognize. I checked her location on Find My Friends. She'd added me years ago, back when we were still in the we have nothing to hide phase. I noted when she said she was at work, but her location showed South End. I checked our cell phone bill, found the number she'd been texting most. Trevor Hastings. Hundreds of texts, thousands, going back 6 months. I didn't read them. I couldn't access the content without her phone, but the frequency told me everything I needed to know. I needed more. I drove to South End one evening after work, found the address Jake had given me, a modern apartment building, glass and steel, valet parking. I sat in my truck across the street and waited. At 7:30 p.m., Lauren's car pulled up. My heart stopped. She got out, checked her hair in the reflection of the building's windows, and walked inside. She wasn't carrying her work bag. She was carrying an overnight bag. I sat there for 2 hours. At 9:45 p.m., I saw them through a window on the 4th floor. Lauren and Trevor, laughing, drinking wine. He pulled her close. She didn't pull away. I took pictures, video, time-stamped everything. Then I drove home, parked in the garage, and sat in the dark until I heard her car pull in at 11:30 p.m. She came in smiling. "Hey, babe," she said, kissing my cheek. "Sorry I'm late. We had a staff meeting that ran long." I looked at her, really looked at her. The woman I'd married, the woman I'd built a life with, and I realized I didn't know her at all. "No problem," I said. "I'm just glad you're home." She smiled and went upstairs. I stayed on the couch, staring at the pictures on my phone, and started planning. The next morning, I called a lawyer. Her name was Monica Reeves. She'd handled a coworker's divorce 2 years ago. He said she was tough, smart, and didn't mess around. I sat in her office and laid out everything. The phone call, the Instagram photo, the location data, the pictures from Trevor's apartment. Monica listened, taking notes, her face neutral. When I finished, she looked up. "North Carolina is a no-fault state, but we can still use this." "How?" "Alimony is affected by adultery. If we can prove she's been unfaithful, she won't be entitled to spousal support." "Good. But we need more. We need her to admit it, or we need communication that proves the affair." "How do I get that?" She leaned back. "Do you have access to her phone?" "Not without her knowing." "What about her computer?" I thought about it. "She uses a laptop, leaves it in the living room sometimes. If you can access it, check her email, her messages, anything cloud-based. But," she held up a hand, "be careful. If she finds out you're gathering evidence, she could delete everything." "I'll be careful." That weekend, Lauren went to a girls' brunch. The moment she left, I opened her laptop. No password, she'd always trusted me. I opened her email, searched for Trevor's name. Hundreds of messages. I started reading. My hands shook as I scrolled through months of conversations. "I can't wait to see you tonight." "He's working late again. We have the whole evening." "I wish I could wake up next to you every morning." "Soon, I promise. I just need to figure out the right time to tell him." I stopped, read that last line again. "I just need to figure out the right time to tell him." She was planning to leave me. I took screenshots of everything, uploaded them to a secure cloud account. Then I checked her text messages. She had them synced to her laptop. More of the same. Months of "I love you" and "I miss you" and "I can't wait to be with you." There were pictures, too. Nothing explicit, but intimate. The kind of photos you don't send to a friend. I saved everything. Then I closed the laptop and sat there, numb. 9 years.
We'd been married for 9 years, and for at least 6 months, she'd been living a double life. I didn't confront her that day, or the next. I played the role, the oblivious husband. I kissed her goodbye in the mornings, asked about her day, made dinner, and every night I added to my evidence file. Monica told me to wait. Let her think everything's fine. The longer she feels safe, the more careless she'll get. She was right. 2 weeks later, Lauren left her phone on the kitchen counter while she took a shower. I grabbed it, opened the messages with Trevor. The most recent one made my blood run cold. Trevor, when are you going to tell him? Lauren, soon. I'm just waiting for the right moment. He's going to be devastated. Trevor, I know, babe, but we can't keep doing this. I want you here, full time. Lauren, I want that too. I just need a little more time. I took a screenshot, sent it to myself, deleted the evidence from her phone, then I put it back on the counter and walked away. That night, I made a decision. I wasn't going to wait for her to tell me. I wasn't going to give her the chance to control the narrative. I was going to end this, on my terms. The next morning, I called Monica. I'm ready to file. You have everything you need? More than enough. Good, I'll draft the papers. We'll serve her next week. I hung up and felt something shift inside me. Not anger, not sadness. Relief. Because for the first time in months, I wasn't pretending anymore.
The papers were served on a Thursday. I wasn't home when it happened. Monica advised me to be at work, let the process server handle it. Lauren called me at 2:47 p.m. Ryan, her voice was shaking, what the hell is this? Divorce papers, I said calmly. Why? How? She was crying now. We need to talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. Ryan, please, come home. Let's figure this out. I'm not coming home, Lauren. I'm staying at a hotel. A hotel? For how long? Until the divorce is final. Silence. Then, you can't just leave. I'm not leaving, I said. You already did, 6 months ago. I hung up. She tried calling back 17 times. I didn't answer. She texted, please, we can fix this. I don't know what you think is happening, but you're wrong. Ryan, I love you. Please come home. I didn't respond. Instead, I forwarded the messages to Monica with a note. She's trying to control the narrative. Monica replied, let her. It's all evidence. The next week, we had our first meeting with lawyers. Lauren's attorney was a guy named Brad Simmons. Slick suit, too much cologne, the kind of lawyer who thinks volume equals authority. He started strong. Mr. Mitchell, my client, is willing to reconcile. She believes this is a misunderstanding that can be resolved through counseling. Monica didn't even look up from her notes. Your client has been engaged in an extramarital affair for 6 months. There's no misunderstanding. Brad's smile faltered. That's a serious accusation. Do you have proof? Monica slid a folder across the table. Yes. Brad opened it. I watched his face change as he flipped through the pages. Screenshots, photos, location data, timestamps, everything. Lauren's face went white. How did you? Doesn't matter, Monica said calmly. What matters is that it's documented, thoroughly. Brad closed the folder. This doesn't change the asset division. No, Monica agreed, but it does eliminate any claim for alimony. Lauren's head snapped up. What? North Carolina law allows courts to deny alimony to a spouse who committed adultery. Given the evidence, my client will be requesting that your claim be dismissed. Brad looked at Lauren. She looked at the table. We'd like to request a recess, Brad said. Granted, Monica replied. In the hallway, Monica turned to me. That went well. Did it? She's cornered. Her lawyer knows it. Now they'll try to negotiate. What do they have to negotiate with? Desperation, Monica said. She'll offer to walk away with less if you agree not to pursue damages for emotional distress. Can I do that? In North Carolina, it's called alienation of affection. You can sue the third party, Trevor, for interfering in your marriage. I stared at her. Seriously? Seriously. It's rare, but it's legal, and given your evidence, you'd have a strong case. I thought about Trevor, his smug Instagram photos, his expensive apartment. How much are we talking? Depends on the jury, but I've seen awards in the 6 figures. I smiled for the first time in weeks. Let's do it.
We filed the alienation of affection lawsuit 3 days later. Trevor was served at his office. According to Monica, he didn't take it well. 2 hours after he was served, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Ryan Mitchell? A man's voice. Angry. Who's this? Trevor Hastings. We need to talk. I almost laughed. No, we don't. You can't sue me for this. It's insane. It's legal, and I have a very good lawyer. This is going to ruin me. Should have thought about that before you started sleeping with my wife. He sputtered. She told me you two were separated. I paused. What? She said you were getting divorced, that it was just a matter of paperwork. I felt something cold settle in my chest. When did she tell you that? 6 months ago. When we met. 6 months ago. When I thought everything was fine. When I was building a deck and planning our future. She'd already been planning her exit. She lied to you, I said. We were never separated. I didn't even know about you until 3 weeks ago. Silence. Then, she lied? Yeah. Welcome to the club. I hung up. The next day, Trevor's lawyer called Monica. He wanted to settle. How much? I asked. He's offering $50,000. Counter with $150,000. Monica raised an eyebrow. You sure? He makes good money. He can afford it, and he helped destroy my marriage. Yeah, I'm sure. She smiled. I'll make the call. We settled at $100,000. Trevor agreed to pay in installments over 2 years. He also agreed to cease all contact with Lauren. When Monica told me, I felt nothing. Not victory, not satisfaction, just tired. The divorce was finalized 8 weeks later. Lauren got the house. She'd put more into the down payment, and I didn't want to fight over it. I got my truck, my tools, and my retirement account. No alimony, no ongoing payments. Clean break. At the final hearing, Lauren tried to talk to me. Ryan, I'm sorry. I never meant for it to happen this way. I looked at her. Really looked at her. You know what the worst part is? I said quietly. It's not that you cheated. It's that you let me believe everything was fine while you planned your exit. You made me feel crazy for noticing something was wrong. Her eyes filled with tears. I didn't know how to tell you. You could have been honest. You could have said you weren't happy. We could have gone to counseling. We could have tried. I know, but you didn't. You chose the coward's way out. She flinched. I turned and walked away. 6 months later, I'm living in a small apartment in Noda. It's not much. 1 bedroom, galley kitchen, a balcony barely big enough for a chair. But it's mine. I bought new furniture, hung pictures I actually like, set up a small workshop in the storage unit downstairs. I started running again, joined a gym, reconnected with friends I'd lost touch with. And slowly, I started feeling like myself again. I ran into Trevor once at a coffee shop downtown. We made eye contact. He looked away first. I didn't say anything, didn't need to. The $100,000 he was paying me said everything. I haven't talked to Lauren since the divorce. I heard through mutual friends that she and Trevor broke up 2 months after everything finalized. Turns out, when you build a relationship on lies, it doesn't last. Who knew? People ask me if I regret how I handled it, if I wish I'd confronted her sooner, if I wish I'd tried to save the marriage. The answer is no, because the marriage I thought I had didn't exist. I was married to a version of Lauren that was already gone. The real Lauren, the one who could lie to my face for 6 months, who could plan her exit while I planned our future, that person wasn't someone I wanted to be married to. So no, I don't regret it.
I regret the time I wasted, the trust I gave too freely, but I don't regret walking away. There's a moment that still haunts me sometimes, that phone call, 11:47 p.m., the way she grabbed the phone so fast, the way she said wrong number without hesitating, the ease of the lie. That's when I knew. Not when I saw the photos, not when I read the messages, but in that moment, when she looked me in the eye and lied without blinking. That's when I knew I'd already lost her. If you're reading this or watching this and something feels off in your relationship, trust your gut. You're not crazy. You're not paranoid. If something feels wrong, it probably is, and you deserve better than living in doubt. You deserve someone who comes home to you, not someone who comes home from someone else. I'm 38 years old. I'm divorced. I live in a one-bedroom apartment and drive a truck with 150,000 miles on it. And I'm happier than I've been in years because I'm not pretending anymore. I'm not building a life with someone who's already got one foot out the door. I'm building a life that's mine. And that's worth more than any marriage built on lies. If this story hit home, comment, "Trust your gut." If you've ever ignored that voice in your head telling you something's wrong, if you've ever been lied to by someone you loved, if you've ever had to choose between comfort and truth, this one's for you. Hit subscribe for more real stories about the moment everything changes, because sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is also the thing that sets you free. And sometimes wrong number is exactly the right answer, just not the one they meant to give you.